How you guys doing today? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV, and welcome to our 4 talking points. Yes, only 4 talking points after our 2-1 win against Cardiff City. Now the 4 talking points I'm going to be talking about will be Olivier Giroud and why I feel I've been wrong on the player. I'm going to be talking about whether Sarriball works for us. We need to have that honest discussion. I'm going to be talking about Jorginho and whether he's the guy we need right now. And to end things, I'm going to be talking about Barkley, and I can imagine that a lot of people are going to turn the video off before it gets to the 4th point. But you guys, if you do like today's video, smash that like button. Help me get more than 750 likes for today's video. And don't forget to press the bell notification button either to stay tuned to all things Blue Lions TV. Now, the first player I'm going to be talking about will be Olivier Giroud. Now, before the season did start, I did say that some players are going to surprise us in a positive sense and a negative sense. And for me, when it comes to Olivier Giroud, I must say that his introduction this season has only been a positive. Now, yeah, I've always understood what Giroud does bring to the team. I've spoken about how he's a space creator and just how effective he is at occupying his man. I've spoken about how effective his link-up play can be and how he helps the wide forwards as well. I've spoken about his aerial presence. I've even spoken about the fact that him not scoring goals all the time isn't really too much of a big deal due to the other positives that he brings to the rest of the team. But I've always had my reservations, and I have to admit, thinking about things even more, I have been a bit hypocritical. Now, what have I been hypocritical about? That's the fact that I said that I didn't care that he doesn't score goals. Well, that's one thing that I just can't really get over when it comes to Olivier Giroud. I'm still using the history of the player against him. A player I've seen at Arsenal that's missed tons of important chances, that hasn't really scored the goals that he should be scoring due to the positions he gets in. So I've never really been able to fully trust him. But after seeing his performances this season, I have to admit that I have been in the wrong. Now, when you look at how things are currently, Giroud makes a lot of sense playing in the team. His qualities are so essential. When you look at our team, let's remember, we're playing possession football, meaning that players need to take more responsibility compared to, let's say, other systems where managers focus on defensive organisation and don't really care if the ball's lost. If you keep losing the ball in a possession style game, you're going to cause yourself issues. You're going to obviously get counted all the time. So when you have a guy like Giroud up front where, let's say you're Aspi or Alonso, you don't have the technical ability to really keep the ball and beat the press. But if you know that you lump it forward to Giroud, most times he is going to keep hold of the ball. And when Giroud's keeping hold of the ball, he's got guys like Hazard, William, Pedro, Ruben, Hudson-Odoi playing close to him. And this is why it's been no surprise that we do tend to score a few more goals when Giroud's playing up front. And I think it is fair to assume now that Giroud needs to get more of a start, especially when Sarri has come out to state that Higuain obviously isn't physically ready just yet. And that was a bit of a surprise to me. I didn't really expect that. But Sarri went out to say that, Higuain isn't used to the physicality in the Premier League just yet. And it's going to lead on very nicely to my second talking point. And that talking point is going to be in regards to, is Sarri the right man for the job? And is Sarriball worth it? Now, is Sarri really the right guy for the job? It's a question that a lot of people in the fan base have been constantly thinking about. I have been providing context on Sarri's term, and I know that context has become a bit of a dirty word on this channel for some baffling reason, because some people take context as you just defending all the time, when all I'm doing is painting a picture and just being fair. It's in my nature to be fair. But that doesn't mean that Sarri can't be accurately assessed. Now, yes, obviously since the start of the new year, Sarri has been making changes, let's not deny that. He's rotated a bit more. He's been using Callum Hudson-Odoi a bit more. But that's the thing, it's always a bit more. It's baby steps. It's nothing drastic that we saw under guys like Conte, for example. And it's looking like now, currently, something drastic does need to be done if we are going to get a top 4 finish. And obviously, hopefully, win the Europa League as well. Now, I get the situation that Sarri's in right now. Should he abandon what he's doing? Should he abandon everything he's been working on? And let's be serious, at times during the season, we have seen that Sarri has been unsurprisingly flexible. Obviously, the games against Man City and Liverpool really stick out because we did play much deeper and we did play more counter-attacking. And no surprise, they were some of our best games this season because we stifled our opposition. Due to what Sarri's brought to the team, we're now able to beat the opposition press and play through that. And because we can, we created some fantastic counter-attacking opportunities against those teams, and we were the deserved winners in most of our encounters. But the question is, why isn't Sarri doing this enough? Now for me, I think there is an argument that maybe Sarriball could be postponed at this time. And that's because, and I say this every single time, when you look at the first team, 50% of the players in the first team aren't suited to this style of football. And cast your minds to how this season's been in general. When's the last time you've seen so many individual mistakes leading to goals conceded? I don't think I've remembered this for a while, if I'm being honest. And I think it further emphasizes the fact that a lot of these guys aren't suited or tailor-made for this style of football. I mean, of course, I think when the season's like getting so close to the end, and if Sarri wants to be a long-term, maybe you should start thinking a bit more long-term. I mean, let's be serious. Does Sarri ideally want to have guys like Alonso and co in his squads? I mean, no. You look at his other teams like Empoli and Napoli, for example, he was able to get players that suited his style and needs of football to great effect. Most of these guys here aren't really Sarri players, and I think Sarri knows that because, as I keep saying, when it came to the windows being open, I kept hearing a lot about Sarri wanting certain profiles of players. But Sarri might not be able to see what the future holds if he doesn't maybe adapt a bit more. I don't think adapt is a dirty word in my opinion. I think it's quite smart. Now for me, I've always been someone that considers the long term more than the short term. And if Sarri wants to be in the long term, he's going to have to make some short term decisions that's going to help him see him over the line. And let's be serious. If he really wanted Sarriball to work, like really wanted it to work, we'd see the introduction of certain personnel into the first team. And yeah, maybe we might not win every single game, but at least they'd be growing together, understanding the system better, understanding each other's game better, and slowly improving over time. But Sarri isn't doing that, and he's forcing in a lot of experienced guys that don't necessarily play this style of football. You guys know that I do like Sarri, of course I do. I think that Sarri could bang if he was in the right circumstances. But Sarri has to adapt, he has to make them happen, and we've seen that he can do that. So I understand the frustrations around the manager, but I do think it's time that Sarri does adapt and look to use what he has more instead of forcing everyone to do things that they're not really suited to. But you guys, comment below, are you Sarri in or Sarri out? And briefly, and I really mean briefly, don't start writing paragraphs and paragraphs. Briefly give your reasons as to why you're Sarri in or Sarri out. Moving on to the third talking point, that's in regards to Jorginho. And I've been really having quite an interesting theory on Jorginho. I touched upon this in the match review, but is Jorginho a bit too niche for us at this moment in time? Now let's not get one thing twisted. Jorginho is an amazing player, and the team's current issues aren't anything to do with Jorginho. And we've seen that when the rest of the team is in the right conditions, that's when you see a super effective Jorginho. But as I keep stressing, when 50% of this first team can't do the things we need, that's not doing any favours for Jorginho. He's like the orchestrator, but he has chaos in front of him, he has poor movement, lack of movement, and a guy like him can't really do his thing if the team aren't working. Guys like Jorginho only complement the team and make it more effective. They're not here to transform it. And that's the thing. When we talk about Jorginho, most people fault him for his lack of defensive ability, when really, we should only be praising him for his footballing nous. But because he can't really show that too often due to the personnel he's playing with, understandably, he's not as effective. I want to say it one more time, Jorginho is not a bad player. The fact that Pep wanted him really sums up the quality that we do have in the guy. I mean, Pep understands the role he needs for that position. I mean, look throughout his career. He's a guy that promoted Busquets when Barca wanted to get rid of him. He's a guy that converted Lam into a deeper midfield role because he saw that he had the footballing ability. He's the one that's helped really fine-tune Fernandinho's game. The fact that he wanted Jorginho, desperately wanted him, it really tells you that yes, Jorginho is a serious player, and if he did sign for Man City, I feel like a lot of people will be talking about this guy completely differently. But still, it's been another game where Sarri has subbed him off, and the team have been a bit more effective. Now, don't get this twisted, don't get this wrong. It's got nothing to do with Jorginho. Sarri's completely right. Playing in the midfield too, Jorginho doesn't have that defensive game to really keep things compact when he needs to be. You don't want Jorginho moving from left to right. You want him in that central area. But with Cover and Kante in midfield, in that sense, both these guys can still play their natural game. We all know Cover's infinitely better playing in that role. That's the role he made his name on. You see his tenacity in the tackle. He can find a pass. Let him do his job creating from deep. Same thing with Kante. You get a bit more tightness, I guess, when he gets back in position. But he's also able to get forward as well. But the main benefit from using these two players isn't because of their abilities. It's due to the fact that we can use another attacking player in the team. That's the big major thing. Because we're able to do that, it gives us a better chance at scoring goals, and that's one thing that's been holding us back for a very long time now. But still, this is more of a theory right now. Who knows, if we see some drastic changes in the team or player performances, anything could happen from now. But you guys in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. Do you feel like maybe Sarri should think about using Jorginho long term for next season? Should he be adapting more and switching up the formation to users in game? Or do you feel like it's got nothing to do with Jorginho and we shouldn't even be talking about him at all? And to end on the final talking point, that's in regards to Ross Barkley. I'm sorry you guys, when's enough going to be enough? And I'm sorry again. Sarri was right when he said that Barkley was an investment signing, and when Conte said that, a lot of people should have woken up in regards to how our board really works. And I see it like this. We've put a lot into our investment signing, but we're not seeing any returns. When are we going to see them? There's been no improvement in this game as the season's gone on. Whatever the improvement is, it's going to be up here for Barkley, but it's not going to be with his feet. That theory that came out earlier that people were suggesting that Sarri's bottlenecking Barkley, do people not analyse what they see when they're watching the game? I get what people will say, you know. Let's not forget the quotes that Ruben came out with, stating that when he came on against Cardiff, Sarri instructed Barkley to stay deeper so Ruben could push forward. But I mean, that's a tactical decision during the context of the game. Obviously, it makes sense. In that sense, we were kind of using a 4-2-3-1 when we were off the ball. But let's not make out that when Barkley has been playing as an 8, he's been getting bottlenecked, because that's completely false. Now, obviously, we use box-to-box mids in our system. Yeah, maybe Kante on the right. Of course, he has responsibilities to get forward in the box. But let's say for him on the right-hand side, he has to balance out and be more disciplined in his timing of the run. But when it comes to Barkley down the left-hand side, he has more creative license in that sense. And what's he ever done with that? But I've got a different theory on Barkley, and it's something I've been saying for a while now. I think the player just doesn't suit playing as a number 8. But when he plays that support role, I think Barkley could really find a place for himself in this squad. I actually mean it. Yeah, he doesn't have the creative abilities maybe to really make anything happen from that position, but if he's given the responsibilities of, let's say, being that ball winning midfield player that, you know, wins possession back, quickly releases the ball and does all like the smart, intelligent off the ball work, I think that he could find a place for himself in this team. I think that would be the best way to develop him, because let's be serious, we are Chelsea Football Club, and for certain positions we need extraordinary talent. And I think that when you play in such a, you know, creatively demanding role in the number 8 position, I feel that only certain guys can do that playing for a club like us. I don't think Ross can. Does that mean that get him out, let him go? I think that he could have a future in a different role. That's the role I'd like to see, because I think that he's been quite decent actually playing in a much more supportive role. But anyway, you guys, that's going to bring an end for today's 4 talking points video. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'll see you guys later for the match preview.